Alright guys, today we're going to be scanning some car parts, specifically the suspension components and the beautiful carbon ceramic disc brakes on this Porsche Cayenne. So we get a lot of calls from a lot of customers doing car modifications or scanning different things to make stuff for cars, whether that be high or low end or off-road or on-road, race tracks, what have you. And it's a really big application where you have to measure a lot of different points, and it's so much easier and so much of a time saver to just have a 3D scan on your computer of exactly the componentry. That way you can go and you can scan a vehicle or an object of any kind and have all the measurements. So if you forget to get one here when you're there on site, you still got it when you're back at the workshop. So we're here today and we've got this beautiful 2016 Porsche Cayenne Turbo S, and we're gonna scan the entire wheel well down here. Now, we're choosing to use the Freescan Combo for this one for a couple reasons. You could do this pretty well probably without markers on the H2. However, the geometry of that actual scanner is much bigger and bulkier, and the cables come out the back, and so getting into the little nooks and crannies with the actual scanner, getting behind the wheel well here, getting actually behind everything and getting all the geometry would be much more difficult. Now, I would also like to use the Freescan Trio because it's got 98 laser lines and I could get laser accuracy without having to use markers. However, again, it's like a 2.5 foot large object, and getting that inside there is not going to be easy. So we went with the Freescan Combo for its compact size. It's got the infrared scanning, and if we need to, it's also got all the laser modes. Love this thing. Again, we sell all this stuff at visualminer.com, and we help businesses choose the right one for their applications. So if you're confused, you know there's a lot of different kinds. I've got one video actually going over all the different options, so go ahead and check out that video. But give us a call, shoot us an email. We're here to help you, and we'll even do a live demo for your application. This morning, actually, this was a demo for a customer who wanted to see how well it would actually work in comparison to his OnStar. And let's just say it blew it out of the water. So today, I'm just going to show you how we do it. So let's get right into it and start scanning. Okay, so I'm gonna go in here, and since we don't want to even put markers on here, we shouldn't need to, I'm gonna go to infrared mode. And then once I'm in there, I'm gonna create a new project. I'm gonna call this Porsche Cayenne Wheel Well. Call it good. We're gonna do object scanning, not portrait. Now this does work really well for people scanning, surprisingly. But we're gonna do medium and large objects and features mode. Hybrid would allow me to put markers down, and then it could track based on features and markers, but since we're not using markers at all, I'm just gonna keep it on features. Now, infrared will scan down to 0.2 millimeters and up to 3 millimeters. But really for something like this, the accuracy is always the same. So I don't need to do 0.2 to have 0.2 accuracy. I can actually get away with something like 1 millimeter and still have all the center points and the planes and everything, all the reference geometry that I need at 1 millimeter. Frankly, 3 millimeters would probably work, but we'll just go on 1 for the sake of the demo. So I'll hit apply, and then I've got my working distance, which I'll be playing with as I go behind the actual caliper and rotor. But brightness, everything else, view lock, plane detection, we can leave all that off, but I do love using the quality indicator. So that's all we got to do for setup. So let's just get started scanning. Okay, so I'm going to hit the button in the center, and I'm going to let it get some geometry. Now you'll notice the blue and the yellow. The yellow is not complete data. The blue is pretty much complete data. So I can sort of just go around, and I'm just going to hold it there for a second to get more data. So I'm going around here. I'm going to go ahead and get some of that shock tower. This does have air suspension, which is very cool, very different from seeing the springs and whatnot. And then let's just get the outline of the actual wheel well. And I'll get some areas. Anything yellow, I just want to make it blue. They make it really easy, I tell you. And this works fantastic. This is just screaming. Okay, on here, let me come up and get the top of the wheel well. By the way, these files will be available online for download, just so you can actually examine this data and see it for yourself. Now, if you're going to try and put it into a CAD program, be forewarned, most CAD programs do not work well with meshes, which is why we also sell the software to work with the scan data and create your features and whatnot, and then take it into any CAD program you like to then create your solid bodies. So just keep in mind, this will export meshes and point clouds, which most CAD programs don't play well with. Now, if you're on Rhino, it works great, but SolidWorks, Inventor, Fusion 360, you're pretty much going to need another software to work with the data before you import it into CAD. I'm just going to keep moving around here. Let's get something on top of that little control arm. And this is literally, it's this easy, guys. It's this easy. I'm just going around, taking a few minutes, pausing here and there. I'm going to come back down here. Let's get more of that suspension. I'm going to come behind the caliper. Okay. Some stuff in there. Looking through the point cloud. Let's get more of that rotor. Let's get the bottom of the rotor. Now, down here on the bottom of the rotor and some of these areas in the back are a little bit harder to get. So what I'm going to do is just on the fly, I'm just going to take my working distance down from 600 down about, let's go to 400 or so. I'm going to also take it down to 160. So now I have to be closer. Let's see what we can do for underneath the brake caliper, the brake rotor. I'll come back for one more pass behind the caliper. Okay, I'm going to call that good for the moment. So let's pause the scan and examine our scan data. We've got a little bit of the jack stand there, a little bit of the floor there. We can get rid of all of that just with a quick circle and delete. And then in here, looks like we got some sort of artifacting, okay. And overall, we've got most of it. Now you notice on this area right here too, it picked up this great, but then once it got up to the super reflective black, the shiny reflective black surface, worst of all worlds for any kind of 3D scanner. Now the lasers will pick that up pretty good, but you'll have to have markers there unless you're using the Freescan Trio, then it should do a pretty good job. But in general, we'd have to spray that, and that would probably be where we would use the A-sub scanning spray. Now there's three kinds of this. And there's the blue, which is anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, or 20 to 30 minutes if you're outside. And then there's the orange, which is 24 to 36 hours, but it can be more or less depending, again, on the environment and the temperature. Now we sell this all on visionminer.com/scanners, along with other accessories like the markers, the magnetic markers. We've got the scanning pyramids and other accessories like that to make scanning easier. Now when you do buy one of these, it does come with a carrying case and like 3,000 markers, so it's not something you really have to buy up front. But we do include a can of the A-sub and our pyramid markers with every scanner we sell, so make sure you definitely hit us up when you're on your shopping, and we'll also answer all your questions and help you figure out if you're really getting the right scanner for what you're doing. Even if it's not one we sell, seriously, if you're scanning buildings, we don't have a LiDAR scanner right now. But depending when you're watching this, we actually may. So make sure you check out visionminer.com/scanners. So we've got a lot of data in here. If we needed it, we could come back behind the caliper a little bit more, the rotor, and get more of this. But we got some great detail on the suspension. Let me recenter this. Okay. Left top. Let's go upside down. You know what? I want this, I want to actually adjust. I want the top to be the top. So let's just move down a couple tabs. We're going to process this data, and then we're going to align it to the global plane. Now this is great before you take it into any other CAD programs or anything like that, because you want it to be facing the proper direction. It's also really handy if you're just 3D printing stuff. We have another video actually where I'm scanning an eagle sculpture, and then I 3D printed it. And you got to get it aligned to the right orientation so that when you drop it in your slicer, it's ready to go. So it's another step just to add at the end of your workflow. Today on here we are using a Ryzen 9 5900HX, and that's got the integrated Radeon graphics, but it's not using that, it's using the GeForce RTX 3070 laptop GPU. And then of course we've got 64 gigs of RAM. So this is a really good laptop, and at the time we purchased it, it was like $1,200, $200 for more RAM, and we're off to the races. So this is a really good setup for scanning in the field or traveling. All right, so we've got our scan data here. If we want to go to the line the world plane, I'm going to have to optimize and generate the point cloud. All right, so now that we've meshed it, now we can go in and check out some of the data. Now obviously you can always spend more time on a scan to get more complete data. You can see we're missing a little bit here, didn't have enough full data to get all these nooks and crannies, but depending on what you're doing, this will get plenty of the geometry and like the offsets and like how big of a wheel or a tire could you fit in this wheel. Well, whatever it is you're doing, well, you can scan more or scan less. So first thing I want to do is actually confirm these settings. Looks good to me. Now I'm going to go over to measurement tools, and then I'm going to go into align. So what I want to do here is get my Z pointing up. Okay, so it's completely not aligned to the world plane, and I just want to go and I want to set it the way that I would want it if it were to appear in my CAD program. And then I'm going to hit quick alignment. I've got it aligned as about best I can determine, and hit align. Now that's in the center, so I can actually move it to drop it to the bottom. And now when I hit top, it's showing me the top. When I hit the front, that's right, or the center right, or the side, now everything's aligned. Super easy. Now you're going to drop it into your slicer or what have you, and it's going to be the way you want it. So let's look. What do we got? We got all kinds of suspension stuff. We got all kinds of subframe. We got all kinds of little sway bars and mounts and all kinds of things. Nice, very good data. All right, well, let me know in the comments down below if you want us to scan this with a different scanner. Do you want to see us scan a different car part, maybe a different car? Let us know down in the comments below. We love reading your comments, and we're here every day playing with this high-end technology to figure it out and know it ourselves, so when you call for your business, we know which one to properly suggest for you, even if it's one we don't sell. Anyway, check them all out, visionminer.com/scanners, and with that, like, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Have a positive rest of your day. I'll see you on the next one.